Down to MVP space. See how they manage it. Well, see how these guys are going to fare. For now, looking like we're going to have the Widow Thara defense yet again.
Yep. Very happy Oberon. Widow Thara defense here has been very successful against Sombra Tracer dive especially. Arrow's going to be starting off with the Widow. Scouts this. He's going to stick with it. That is a risky decision given that he is going to have every advantage against him.
They now know the Thara is there. The rockets have started flying, but the start there. He wants
to use a...
He's really thinking about this one. He's like, guys, help me. Should I swap or no?
He basically wanted to use mid-air shots to maybe try to eliminate the Thara, then they could dive in, but the team said no, because that's a pretty ridiculous notion when OneFact has sightline advantage.
Well, T-Bag, yeah, gets clipped by that rocket. Taken down in the end, OneFact finds the killing shot. It's going to be the res. Turned down by Ju Young to bring it back into the fight. Almost going to get taken down.
Arrows flying through the sky, trying to get these shots off. Maybe when OneFact's not looking and the barrier's down and he hits the perfect shot, it could work. It's a lot of ifs, though.
It's a pretty big niche moment here to make this happen, but the dive in there, taking down Fuse, that's going to help a lot. No boost going to be going through there on to OneFact, and now they can just dive in, just rip everybody apart. Oberon distracted, Arrow gets the flank, finds the killing blow, and MVP space is kind of going to crumble under the pressure there on point A. Yaki couldn't even get close really to the barrage, just 66%. He's going to have to swap.
Yep, well, that was just really good execution of the dive. We didn't have a great camera shot of how it happened, but Sky just doing the majority of the damage there. Arrow threatening with those Widowmaker shots the entire time. Is going to get the D-Mech here.
Oh, Bianca, yeah, he tries to go forward to shove them off the high ground. He'll get knocked out of the mech, but they do manage to punish Genie and Arrow at the same time. Yaki and OneFact working well there with the synergy. Focus down some of the prime members of WGS here with this lineup. Bernard will get taken down at the end for an extra little bit of stagger, but it's 6 minutes on the clock that MVP Space have to try to hold out for. We saw them drain down that time bank quite a bit on Nimbani, but it's a little bit different when it comes down to 2CP.
Yeah, they had a lot of success on this map in the past, buying time because the EMPs were really good for OneFact, but they're running Yaki on this Sombra again.
In the back, pocket comes through onto Genie, but can't stay alive there through the pressure of both OneFact and Yaki burning you down.
It's so interesting to me that they really like to run this setup with Yaki on the Sombra, because it's already been proven that the other situation is much stronger, it's much more successful than historically.
Yeah,
but
scientifically proven.
Maybe they're just switching roles, you know, like you said, this is free practice in a way, but see if they can, if Yaki can have those magical EMPs that OneFact had in the series against Seven that were really part of the reason why they were able to win that series, a big part of the reason why. Does have one nearly built now as he just continues to farm here on the side.
EMP going to be ready to go. Yaki gets jumped on. Has to translocate out of there. Keeps himself alive. Getting into position here for the EMP.
WGS is just approaching all in the same location. So
they spotted him out. He's going to throw that down. Catches so many members, but it's not going to be Genie. They'll have that Transcendence still available and keeps everybody on the side of WGS alive. So the EMP not paying off. Now Undyne moves forward, has that Transcendence of his own. The rest of the squad goes forward. They get rid of Genie, they get rid of Ju Young, and now WGS is just going to crumble here under the pressure being applied. Hack it on the Sky, means no dashes, means no escape. He falls as Arrow barely makes it out of there with his life.
That was basically Laurels 9 setting MVP space up.
Oh, look at this delay. Can we not watch this? I want to watch Bernard getting... There we go. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, that was basically MVP space having the setup for the best EMP, and it wasn't because of Yaki, it was because WGS Laurels 9 put themselves in the best position to be EMP'd and totally wrecked. So ult efficiency on its highest level here. One EMP shuts down the entire push. MVP Space still holds nearly 6 ultimates too.
A hack there on Arrow.
And look at how well he's able to just continue to farm this with these translocators on the high ground. Just
ready to
running
go.
It in.
OneFact getting distracted by the tracer spray there on the wall. Thought it was an enemy. Still trying to make his way through, but has to use the recall. Arrow is just gating him out of here. Tries to go for that mini pack. He might have been able to pick it up because I think OneFact's still going to be alive into the fight, but now Sky's getting jumped on. Can't use that mega. And now he is in between a rock and a hard place. We're on nearly getting kicked by the pulse bomb out there from Arrow. Manages to go down in the end, and Arrow takes him out. Bag will fall as well with primal range, so WGS likely just going to have to abandon the push yet again.
I like how they're being careful about committing too many ultimates, WGS's, but because they're not able to force anything, MVP Space is again just trading 2 ultimates for a huge push. They have to be insanely efficient. They're going to delay Bernard again. They have to be insanely efficient because that's how they're going to burn through that 6 minutes of time bank. They're halfway there. And Yaki's got another EMP. They need to be more aware, more cognizant of him. No one has any idea where he is right now. Now they see him.
Spot him out. Everyone turns in as soon as one sighting comes through.
But that slows down the push. He's going to come and do it again. And they have to really be aware of this. He wants to wait until they come in, see if they do take the bait here. Oh, sick hack there, no recall.
Even if they wanted to take the bait, maybe a bit of a wasted res there. But Sky can make it out with his life, seems like he'll be able to do so. Young just bringing him back in faster.
Well,
Tracer can rejoin quickly.
The massive time bank becomes no time at all here for WGS. Yaki is his favorite translocator spot, just like every Sombra player.
I don't know. I thought you were going to say, like, the massive time bank becomes a small time bank now. I thought you were going to say something really weird.
Well, look at this. Oh, good bait of the Transcendence.
Yeah, I mean, a reaction there from Genie, a good one, I suppose, in some circumstances, but this one probably going to end up being pretty poor because now he's going to die. Dragonblade not going to get a damn thing there for Sky, and Oberon is able to take down Too Young, and no supports available yet again. WGS are being held at bay. They've got a couple ultimates ready to go, but you can see here, Swamp's coming through. Too Young moving over to the Lucio, even with that Valkyrie ready to go. Genie going to the Moira.
This is very difficult to run the Reaper, Moira, Lucio comp on this point when you don't have any ticks. It's usually a tank busting strategy that allows you to grab the last 2 ticks or the last tick, but with no ticks available and very little time bank, you're really going to struggle. This is kind of a Hail Mary style they're now bringing in. Z-Bag survives, intentionally farming ult charge here for Genie. That's what he wants to do. That's why he's going super low, then dropping back down. Genie almost halfway to that Coalescence already.
Pulse Bomb. One back could line that up, get past that defense matrix. There's so many members clumped up here into the catacombs.
Yeah, no EMP as well, so this is a good opportunity for Laurels 9 to get the Reaper onto the point.
Pulse out from Arrow, seems like it doesn't find anything. Hack comes in on the Too Young, they want to take him down. Haven't been able to do so yet. The spam coming out of Genie as he builds up for that Coalescence, dangerously close. Less than 10% now. And Oberon, he's used that primal range. He's still trying to keep them pushed back. Coalescence now going to come through from the side of WGS. Sound barrier out from Fuse, but Bianca is still going to go down. Self-destruct, but no way to get back into the mech. Already killed there in that pilot form as Arrow focused him out. Tick starting to come through, looking for the first one here with 35 seconds remaining, but MVP Space, they have that Transcendence available, and Undyne is going to push in on top of the point. Sky building up, nearly has that Death Blossom ready to go. EMP comes down, Bernard tosses out the self-destruct, doesn't find anything, and now it's just going to be kills spilling over here in the favor of MVP Space. 3 on the board, looking for more, let's make it 4 as Too Young goes down. Sky dead, Arrow, team wipe comes through, and that is going to be it. Genie's back up, he's got the fade, but making it back into the point in time is going to be a pretty difficult task.
It's going to be pretty unrealistic. Juyung going to try to speed boost everybody.
And the lead comes in, and Z-Bag gets taken down. One back finds him with a pulse instantly, and no one can make it in time. Juyung desperately tries. They'll get shut out. Great hold there from MVP Space.
So the cool thing about the last fight there was actually it was really well played by Undyne with his Transcendence. He used it very early, but what he was able to guarantee was that Yaki was able to get into position, the Mega Pack below the actual point B itself, goes down to that location and throws the Translocator from there, where it's very difficult to predict which angle he's going to come from, and he comes in and hits everybody with that massive EMP. So impressive usage there of the Transcendence, even though it wasn't the most efficient at deterring damage. It allowed the EMP to go through, and then right after the EMP goes off, everybody on the side of WGS just gets demolished. Really efficient usage of the EMPs. Genie's showing some weakness there with the pop Transcendence early. It's a good reaction to an EMP, but what he should have realized was that no one from MP Space was anywhere nearby to capitalize on the EMP. That EMP would have just been instant, everyone hacked, and then Yaki dies if he actually committed to that. And remember, we have to remember these are all rookie players against seasoned veterans. Yeah. 4 seasons of Korean Overwatch for MVP Space and either promotions. Apex Challengers or Apex. They've been involved in every top-tier tournament in Korea. They're a team of 6 veterans versus 6, realistically 5, because Bernard he has some experience on BK Stars, etc., but mostly completely amateur players, new players, rookies.
Yeah, Bernard, I believe, BK Stars into Rhinos Gaming.
Yes, I believe
was
so.
His team history. So again, not a great one. BK, sure, playoff team in season 1, but ever since then,
yeah. I mean,
far down.
Bernard and Bunny were the dastardly duo on BK Stars back then. Everyone knows what happened to Bunny in Overwatch League. Is a great tracer player. MVP Space is going to run standard dive, but with the Ana actually to allow Yaki to have more freedom at range to harass the Widow, because they expected Arrow to be on this, which is, surprise, surprise, that's what he's doing.
Yep.
That's why he was picked up for the squad.
Intermittent boosts coming through, so every now and then. As you can see MVP waiting around the corner, now gonna dive in. Bio grenade comes in from Undyne, and they just collapse on top of the members of WGS Sky. Going down. As Yaki keeps spamming away, they have control over the low ground. The first hit coming through, now looking for the second one. Will be able to get it completely unhindered on this cap so far. WGS, they don't want to surrender this position because they know that they're so much weaker if they drop down, but they have to do it. D-Bag falls down. Still going to be alive here for the moment, but now everyone with Sky being taken out can turn their attention over to this Orisa, trying to burn her down. A couple of answering kills coming through as Oberon falls and Bianca gets knocked out. Undyne just now respawning. Will use the self-destruct to try to get the kills. Another drop-down kill. That's going to be 5 so far in the tournament there as Bianca falls. Point blank goes Yaki, and pop goes the Arrow. He'll get taken down.
Yeah, Yaki just carrying this fight after the bio grenade as well as he could. Waiting for a better opportunity to blade because they don't have the rest of the team here. The respawn's coming through, and they are going to clean this up without using it, actually. Sky, the last to fall here, but
snowballed it so hard with the Nano Blade.
And look at the ultimate second Nano Blade. Beyond that, they have both tank ultimates about to come online. After the fight, they certainly will. So this is a scary, scary moment for WGS. Only needs one tick. This is a tough spot.
That's exactly it. One tick is all that they need. Doesn't find anything. No sleep dart. No nothing. They come up short. Double kill instantly there with one swipe from Yaki. Takes them down. That's the tick. And MVP Space will be able to gain control here yet again in this series, now leading 2-1.
This happens all the time when you get a snowball push on point A. You build 6 ultimates in the longer fight, and then you just slam into point B where they're switching off the Widow. Happens on Anubis all the time, so it's not a, oh my god, WGS got smashed, it was not even close. Just, they had no realistic chance. Are you really going to defend a 6 ult push with a Nano Blade to open it up? But Ana is just getting picked in the spawn room, can't even leave. Did get the bio grenade off, didn't hit a sleep, and it was just a really good blade there. Kills the Ana immediately, and the whole thing falls apart while Sky's trying to get set up for a Riptire. It was all just a pipe dream to defend that kind of push. MVP Space, their map pick works out way better than I thought it would, but it all comes down to Undyne's insane bio grenade for point A. Yep. The rest of the map could have been totally different if they ended up getting held on that first push, didn't build those ultimates, had to take several more pushes to grab point A. We have an actual map, but with this first push snowballing so hard, and they're able to win the longer fight, they get those ultimates. I mean, the point B attack there was no chance WGS was going to hold that. It was not going to happen, so.
Well, that's going to bring the scoreline to 1-18 now for WGS. One final chance to put another map on the board here. Because, well, even if they force a tie break, it doesn't count. So it doesn't count as a map win, really.
Yeah, it does not.
We can maybe kind of give it to them in spirit.
Well,
since they're already, you know, going to be disqualified from playoffs and everything, have to go to trials.
They wouldn't get a map win, but they'd get at least the win of the series.
Yeah.
That'd be they walk away with, you know, series win, better than map win, I think. They'll have to get at least one more map win before that's going to happen, as you say.
Yeah, so they'll get their pick when it comes down to Escort, but they need it to excel. If it's anything like Nambani, then yeah, maybe it can pull it off. But even then, it was still so dangerously close.
They were so dominated on Junkertown last time.
Oh,
post like Genji, and it's going. We're going right over to Karos. Oh, she did it.
She did the wall climb.
What's she pulling out?
Oh, she's got an actual. She's got a Dragon Blade. Oh man,
that's dangerous. Put that back. She carries that to work.
Well, I mean, no one's gonna mug her now. Now they know that she's packing.
Yeah, keep the guys with cheese away from her because she might cut it and put it on a cracker and serve it to you.
Oh, he's gonna go for it. He's standing up.
Oh, that was actually that's something more graceful than I thought it would
be. I'm glad that he was actually trying to sit down. For a second, I thought he fell.
You know, in rehearsal, we predicted this was going to be a Genji cam. I don't know how we knew. We knew it was going to be Genji today. All right.
All right.
Shurikens.
She's throwing some shurikens. That's good. What happens if Achilios wins this? Does she get the prize?
I guess so.
Does she get to take home the keyboard?
Or the police come and take the knife away from her.
That too. That could happen. That very well could happen.
Oh, what'd she rip off her sign?
I don't know. But she's just throwing stuff.
She ripped this. Oh, she had a shuriken on the sign.
Oh, okay. She had some stars there on the actual sign. She came prepared with props. It's just cutting back to us. I thought it was our hero cam moment, but it's not. You're making it rain, Wolf.
With shurikens?
That's what you look like. Oh, man, they're not going to let you back in Vegas. But one more map, Escort, getting ready to come through. What do you think that WGS is going to select?
I think they're going to pick Junkertown. They got totally decimated on it, though, in their last series against Runaway. It was actually a bit tragic. They were basically spawn capped from the beginning there.
Yeah.
But they're running Arrow, or at least I think they're still running Arrow, so if Order doesn't get subbed back in.
They're running Arrow.
Okay, thank you. So if Order, assuming that he's not going to get subbed in back, in which we now know is true, then I think Junkertown is the map to go with. You've got the Arrow's great Widow player. Sky's outperforming Yaki in a lot of ways on the Genji. That last fight, again, wasn't fair. Like, everyone's like, why Yaki got the Dragon Blade there, they killed everybody. I'm like, well, I mean, the other team was playing with their hands tied behind their back, essentially. Like, it's like Nano Blade comes through, what are you going to do?
Oh.
Okay, well, Tidal is in.
Okay.
That could change the way you want to approach this. This means that it's probably Junkertown, though, I think, because I think the map is chosen before you choose the player, because otherwise you would maybe, like, if the player gets subbed first and you switch your map pick, and that would be kind of weird. Like, it's like character picks in Smash Bros. You kind of have to make rules about the order of how that happens, or else you're going to just keep switching. I think that with Tidal in, that means we're going to see Junkrat, which means it's probably going to be Junkertown, not just because it's Australia and it's his map, but because it's a really strong map for the Junkrat, the best escort map, I would argue. Alternatively, if they've chosen Dorado, it's a really good map. We've seen MVP Space run the Orisa Junkrat on Dorado for point A. Tidal getting his login information. Log it in.
Got to get them settings all ready to go. Make sure that he is good and geared up.
Tidal is such a veteran of Korean Overwatch. For those who don't know,
maybe Yaki's a bit messy. You see, he's like cleaning some stuff off there with a wet nap.
Yeah, maybe he spilled something in his keyboard bag. Who knows?
Could be.
I hope his gear's fine. Mouse bungee being adjusted here for Undyne.
You know,
to be precise.
I never felt the need for a mouse bungee.
No?
It's one of the few things. Like, I went through a period of my life where I was just like a big Razer product fanboy. Still use a couple other things, I will say, but I used to just buy almost like everything that they made. But the one thing that I never bought back in the day was the mouse bungee, because I was like, I don't need that, you know?
Yeah,
that 7.1 surround sound headset, I need that, but that mouse bungee, hell no.
I never bought a mouse bungee, but the first time I saw them was when I moved to Korea in 2011, and every Korean pro gamer that was in the StarCraft 2 team house at the time, and some of the Koreans living in my team house at the time were using them, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And I was like, can I try that? And I tried, and I was like, this is amazing. And I decided that day, I was like, I'm going to buy one of these once I have like a little bit more money to spend. So I was super broke at the time. Once I have a little bit more money to spend, I'm going to get one of these. It's going to be awesome. It's going to make a huge impact on my play. Never bought one ever. But I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm 100% going to buy this.
Oh, man, this is going to
7 years later, Wolf still doesn't have one.
I'm going to use this mouse bungee. That's going to make me Grandmaster in StarCraft. Like, no.
I never got past Masters.
Probably the least impactful thing in my opinion.
Junkertown!
Hey, people got their preferences, so if you use a mouse bungee, nothing against you. Just never saw the point myself, that's all.
Yeah, I never got one, but I always thought it was really cool. Depends on how serious you are about your mouse cord. Junkertown, the map choice here, probably the reason why Tidal is subbed in. And Arrow's got another chance to redeem himself on this map where he was totally shut down against Runaway. It was a tragedy, as mentioned before. But MVP Space not known for the strong Widow play on defense. I feel like they might have, when Laurels 9 is on defense, they might have the upper hand with Widow positioning. Sky having some decent Junkrat tonight. MVP Space might have some trouble on attack. So I think in that regard, it's a pretty intelligent map choice for WGS Laurels 9 here. It's their potentially last map of the tournament. We might not see them in Contenders Korea ever again, so they've got one more shot here, Achilios.
This is definitely the last hurrah here for these guys. Try to force that tie break, take it to Oasis. Wasn't a great showing on Nepal, but it would at least be an extension of the series, another chance, a second lease on life to try to pick up an actual series victory. Already the first map victory, currently find themselves 1-18. They don't want to be 1-19. We'll see if they can pick it up here. MVP looking pretty fierce there on Anubis, so stopping that momentum is going to be difficult. Here we go. It's going to be MVP kicking things off on the defense.
I think this is a wise choice.
Yep.
They have the weaker Widow player.
Exactly standard.
They're going to choose the defense first so that they can have the advantage. They can try to get into the heads a little bit of WGS Laurels 9. Solid defense, then just push a short distance is the idea here. It's very common to see on this map.
Oh, man. Shots in, Z-Bag. Yeah, he's going to get ripped apart.
Got to keep his head down on that barrier.
He'll be topped up. But seeing the flank position coming in, one Fag looking for you, Junk.
Oh, boy.
Too young. I just keep, you know, being dyslexic there with his name.
Well, this could be another one fact highlight reel and not the good kind.
Yeah, might be.
He looked great on Anubis, but on some of his previous sets of Hanamura, no one remembers that. It was bad.
Reflection already used their Sky King, popped up there by the satchel, I believe. Won't use as well, just drag it. Chu Young up to the air, but the headshot not going to be ready.
It's one of those moments where when the one fact watches the body, it's like, oh my god, the observer was watching the whole time.
Oh, man. I mean, you should know, when you're playing Widowmaker, you're probably going to be on the camera. That's just the way that it works.
I mean, they are having a pretty successful defense so far, but it would be much better if one fact was able to actually get damage done.
Oh, well, they're just going to go ahead and charge the Riptire right up the front. Manages to find two. Arrow, why were you there?
And the reason why, well, it's because he jumped down off the high ground there, but the reason why this defense has been successful has been because of Tydala, who's subbed in for this map specifically. And one fact is trying his best to add some extra pressure, threaten, you know, Mercy a little bit. As you can see, Jiyoung having to go down behind this staircase to get Genie res there. But yeah, it's just been the Junkrat show. Even though we're not seeing a lot of it, you can take a look at Tydala's ult percentage to know how much damage he's doing in these fights. Arrow looking for the flank here. This actually could work. He used this against Runaway to mixed results.
Oh, around the backside, beautifully timed. Stuck there. I don't think Fuse even knew about it really, but one fact is able to capitalize on that spot out. Takes down Arrow. And WGS, they're going to need a really big Dragon Blade, but with Sky getting hooked like that, might not even get the chance to use it.
What a hook there from Bianca right around the wall. Very well played. Just having that perfect angle. He actually walked back into it, but I love that Bianca tossed it out there anyways. And now there's being gate kept at the spawn. This feels familiar. Let's see if Arrow is going to go for another one of his fancy flank plays here. Sky's got a Dragon Blade, and he can come over and wreak some havoc with it. He's going to pull it out now, but Transcend's immediately to counter it.
Yeah, the Valkyrie as well, up into the air. Sky going to get a couple slashes there onto Bianca, but cannot take down the Hog. WGS still able to posture for it, and one fact will take it down by Arrow. Decent opportunity for them. Infrasight coming through, trying to spot out there onto Fuse. Gets the one shot, nearly takes him down. He's got no HP left. Riptire comes in, looking for a pick, takes down Sky. It's still going to be MVP Space very much losing the fight. They're likely just giving over this point A to WGS.
That was actually finally the first time for Arrow to really get a good line of sight there on the Mercy onto one fact. and then just pushing them back there, forcing them to position around this house.
He must have been like a couple percentage away from that full charge shot.
Definitely.
He had like single-digit HP.
Oh, it was definitely like 10 health or less for sure. But Tidal in this moment finally wasn't allowed to just drop bombs on people. He actually had to back away as Arrow finally had good line of sight to threaten him. So he couldn't do as much damage as he was looking for. And now they're inside. They've gotten to this first point. 3 minutes to spare. Let's see how long MVP Space wants to continue to run this composition. If they can maintain this hold here inside, they can run it for essentially the rest of the map. But if they get pushed back with this push, it's going to be time to make some switches.
Tidal going low, Bianca as well. The hook in there onto Z-Back, can't take him down. The Diva bomb from Bernard finds two. One back and Undyne both crumbling here. Payload can keep moving forward for WGS, looking much better on the street phase than at the start.
Yeah, I think it might be time for OneFact to switch off of this Widow. That was, by the way, that self-destruct comes in without a pull from a halt from Orisa.
Yeah.
It was not even running the Orisa. That was just a good angle there from Bernard off screen. And
this is really bizarre.
OneFact is sticking with the Widowmaker.
Oh yeah, and everyone found him right off the bat. He took down Genie. Did a little bit of work there for the side of MVP Space, but he pays for that one with his life, and Arrow is still unhindered, still just sitting around here on the high ground, takes down Tidal, takes down Bianca.
It's time to switch. This is not going to work, especially in this position where Arrow has full line of sight. Tidal can't even walk out the door without getting spotted. And they're still trying to manage this with the defensive Widow. If they had just switched over to Tracer here, which OneFact has been flexing to a lot today, so I wouldn't blame them. It would be a much better situation for them, but they can't deal with this Widow who's got better line of sight with Junkrat. It isn't going to happen.
I'll quote a famous YouTuber and say, OneFact, it's time to stop. Put it down, move away from the Widow.
Stop it, get some help.
Cease and desist, please.
Well, here comes the Blade. He's going to be the first target.
He's going to jump in there. So far, hasn't found much. Gets the deflection there onto the bombs. Nearly kills them off, but Undyne is at least able to go ahead and correct the situation. Tidal now the Riptire going to be pushing forward, looking for a pick, but will just get taken down in the end.
Well, you know, they do shut this down. I think partially due to the fact that WGS Laurels 9 gave up their positional advantage there by using the Dragon Blade so aggressively and blindly there. The difference between that type of Dragon Blade and Sparkles, where he knows where his targets are before he pulls the blade. Someone like Neist as well is very calculated. It's very much a toss out and see what we can catch blade there from Sky.
Oh, OneFact is dead yet again. Arrow taking him down.
Res, but what are you really doing? You're spending your time resing. You're not healing anybody else.
Now Overon jumping around, going crazy here. Another shot. Undyne gonna fall. They need something that can actually just get into the back and deal with Arrow.
Arrow is
he is just wrecking them right now.
He is just not, he's unchallenged because guess what? Tidal can't kill him with grenades on the Junkrat.
Yeah, Overon does manage to take him out. Doesn't die, goes dangerously low. Now we'll get taken down. Sky's able to hound him out. Finishes him off. Tidal under pressure here from his Z-Bag. Trying to stay alive and oh dear. Has to stare into it.
He's so dead.
Yeah.
Arrow is protected here. Bianca might be demac'd on the retreat. Finally, they regained some composure here. Sky's got another blade. Let's see if this one ends up coming up bigger here. As Fuse is very far back at the moment. Undyne's got Transcendent, so if they could bait that out somehow, that would be ideal. Or if they could snipe him.
Bernard out of the mech at least, gonna be quite nice for them, and they alleviate a lot of pressure with OneFact finally trading up against Arrow.
Those kills there to Bernard and Arrow delay this push, but I think they were trying to gain information for Sky so he can know where these Zenyatta's position. Now he knows he's over on the right side there of this room here, the left, of course, from OneFact's perspective. That's what they want to look for or try to bait the Transcendence out of so the Dragon Blade can actually do something to complete this point. Okay.
Z-Back goes down.
Arrow can't get into vision range anymore.
He's going to jump forward, has that Transcendence coming in, will top it back up. Too Young going to get some of that as well as he pops the Valkyrie, but here comes the Riptire into the back, looking for the Mercy, looking for the Widow.
This is
Can't find him yet, but we'll be able to take him down in the end as Sky falls.
That's
that primal rage from Overon.
They had the Empress sight, they knew where he was, they were able to easily chase him down.
Yeah, now self-destruct coming in, no time left on the clock. Bernard will be able to tag up for that OT, but that's going to be Too Young going down. Overon going forward, just trying to get the Genji out. Dragon Blade comes down, but it won't get anything. So held just after point B was better from WGS than we might have anticipated given how that map started.
Yeah.
But they cannot get the completion in the end.
But remember, this is fantastic for them because I feel MVP Space is going to be the team that struggles on attack. They've subbed in $10 playing Junkrat and Genji, so the two heroes that you need to have on attack. He's been underperforming this season. That's why he's been spending a lot of his time on the bench, in fact. One fact, trying to run the Widow into realistically bad positions in between point B and point C. Oberon fan here back on screen, but between point B and C, Arrow had full line of sight advantages, and Tidal couldn't do anything on the Junkrat. Finally, they were able to win one big fight, and then Arrow was stuck inside. They found him with the Riptire with the Infrasight coming through, and had that extra vision. It was really well played by MVP Space to close that map out. The Dragon Blade was never used by Sky. Undyne was always holding that Transcendence, so they had the answer there as well. Eventually, once they lost line of sight, they were out of tools to continue to gatekeep MVP Space. Let's see how Space does on attack now, though, because this is their weakness on this map. They're going to be facing off against Arrow's defensive Widowmaker and Sky's Junkrat, which has looked a lot stronger tonight.
Yeah, opening this up against Arrow is going to be the challenge. It's like maybe something like the attack Genji going to have to come through.
Yeah,
on the side of MVP to try to just get up in his face and shut him down. Because otherwise, trying to go toe-to-toe yet again, not toe-for-toe, toe-to-toe yet again, is just not really mathematically sound for the side of MVP. I feel like at the end of that, he had maybe a 30% success rate when dueling against Arrow.
Yeah. One fact again is he's had some moments on the Widow, but most of the moments we've had from him have been a lot of misses.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Now we do see Tidal is trying to Junkrat versus the defensive Genji here for Laurels 9. So sticking with the Junkrat pick, let's see if they can make it happen. Very, very difficult to pull this off against Arrow.
Well, it's another headshot there onto Oberon. Hook comes down off the back of the Hulk. Z-Bag's gonna crumble. Tidal finding that kill. So good coordination here from MVP Space to keep the cart moving forward. Ju-Young, there's just no way for him to get into position to get the res there onto Z-Bag, but getting rid of Tidal is a good way to shut down or at least slow down this push. Good deflection from Sky keeps himself alive, but Fuse was able to get the res off in time. Tidal immediately follows up, finds the kill there onto Genie. Another hook comes in, but he can't find the pick off this time. LeBron dragged up into the air. Bernard is a bit too slow on that hook of his own.
I'd like to see where Arrow's trying to position from to get these kills onto Tidal because he's uncontested right now. He's got a Riptire already.
Oh, hook in there onto Tidal. Still manages to kill Sky on the journey. Now a hook in onto Bernard. They drag him through, but he takes a breather, manages to stay alive. Another whole hog's going to come out from Bianca. Bernard building up for his own. Gonna have that one very soon. Payload still moving forward, looking for another hook. Not going to get it this time around. He'll go low, but now the Riptire's coming in.
Long range.
Yeah, there's so much distracting them on the front side. They're not going to see it coming. That's going to be Ji-Young going down. Dragon Blade out from Sky. Finds one with a hook in immediately. Bianca saves the rest of the squad.
Blading after his team was dead. Arrow accomplished nothing on the Widow this game. Never able to threaten Tidal, so he was always doing so much damage. He's on fire. He built a Riptire in record time because he was just never really under pressure or under line of sight from Arrows. Now trying to use this spot we've seen a few times recently to great success.
Take a spot, but everybody else is dying, Arrow. You can't see a damn thing from there. And you just lost 3 members as Tidal rips them apart.
So what does WGS realistically do here now? They have Arrow in a good spot, but their free push is coming through. MVP Space has a lot of time. They've got control of this A to B street space here, and they don't need to make any switches right now because they're not being pressured, so they can just continue to over time build ult charge, not by doing damage, but just simply building it over time. With these heroes, One Fact's about to have the Infrasight. That's going to give them opportunities for picks as they round this corner. Arrow uses his first.
Ult comes in, misses that one, and Z-Bag goes a bit too high. I think the satchel charge actually betraying them a little bit there. From the side of Tidal, Bianca takes another breather. Ult drags him in pretty shortly. Arrow coming in, but he'll get taken down. But it looked damn cool.
That was cool anyways, let's just say that. Let's say that much.
If he had killed him, that would have been a nice highlight clip.
Supercharger baited out here. I wonder if Laurels 9 will actually make a switch now. And they've used this and the infra site. They do control this high ground, so not necessarily required at the moment. Supercharger, though, the big tool they had. Oh, denying the res.
He'll get another one. Satchel charge coming through. Says thank you for that Junkrat buff, by the way. Chases down, looking for Oberon. He'll go low. Kites are on the side. Tidal says, hey, what's up, man? Finishes him off. Shots coming through. He's going to get jumped on. He's going to go low, and he's going to go down. Res comes down here onto Sky, and WGS can try to solidify a defense pretty far forward here near the chokes.
Yeah, they have no reason to switch anymore because MVP Space is struggling to enter. Sky's got this choke point covered. The other more central location is covered by Arrow. He's got vision of this. Look at that, how quickly that barrier breaks as well. Sky looking for the behind Riptire once again.
They have spotted this out, but it hasn't taken any damage yet. It's going to drop in, takes down Overon right as Tidal kills Genie. Nice trade up coming in here yet again for WGS as they have the majority of the kills. Several members on MVP Space going to die. Fuse included. Up onto the high ground, Arrow finds the body shot. One fact dies to the satchel yet again. Undyne though, picking up the pieces, manages to get that Widow.
In order for One Fact to really do much damage, they have to push through this point with more than just the tanks. They need to have enough people up here to give him an angle. He's going to, of course, respawn and come through. Nice pick here.
Yeah, the Hulk comes in, but Bianca has the hook. Dragon Seed back in. Finds that kill, and Genie uses the Transcendence here to keep Chu Young alive. He's still taking a lot of damage. They'll go ahead and they'll push back. Now, Undyne moving forward with his own. Supercharger down, and when One Fact falls, Tidal manages to get the kill there onto Arrow, but they need to get the cart hit onto point B. Get that completion, which is a little bit further, but Sky, he's looking to shut it down. Has the Riptire coming through. Going hunting. Gets the pop, but not going to be finding much else.
Yeah, not really anything going through here. This is going to be a much more effective Riptire. You have to think going into the back here of the shield, doing some damage there. Not actually getting the kills, though. In fact, shut down by Sky there. Didn't actually even go off.
And Tidal was taken out.
It's time to switch.
Self-destruct. So yeah, you gotta swap things up. It's gonna be Tidal moving over to the Genji. One Fact. Where's the infra site just to get some initial positioning here, some knowledge of where WGS is at. And
One
he's
Fact
gonna go to the Tracer.
Couldn't get into position like I was describing earlier. The tank's never able to get him into position to actually get those shots off through the barrier as well. They were trying to use the Riptire to open that up. It's just going to go back to straight dive here for Tidal. He gets shut down by Sky. They just can't get in here. There's two entry points, and they're both being gate kept again. And this is where MVP Space has struggled on this map on attack so many times. That's why I said it was their weakness.
That just was really funny to me. The drive-by deflection there onto the shot, but immediately killed by the Junkrat. Sky now. Kites his way back, picks up the Mega Pack. MVP Space are trying to regroup here, but Undyne goes down as he builds up for the Transcendence. 15 seconds left. They need him alive and in the fight, but Fuse can't get into position to actually bring him back in, and now Overrun's gonna fall. WGS, can they actually do this?
We're going to a game 5.
It's looking like we're gonna, because that's just about to be the team kill, and Undyne cannot waddle his way back, float his way back over onto that payload in time. WGS pulls off the hold. They put another map win here on the board. 2-18, and now they have a chance to win a series with an Oasis tiebreaker.
Well, it's time to put Yaki back in the booth.
Yes.
This is not going to be an Oasis they can win with Tidal. His Genji was lackluster. They're running him on the Junkrat, where when he had free reign, he was winning so hard on the defense. But when Arrow was given line of sight, he couldn't do anything on it. He was unwilling to switch the Genji until very late. Whereas on the side of WGS Laurels 9, they understand better how to play around the Widow on this map, when you need to switch it, when you need to stick with it, how to force fights against the tanks to give Arrow those opportunities to get kills. And MVP Space just tried to have One Fact carry, where he was always out-positioned, always in trouble, and surprise, surprise, Yaki is going to be subbed back in. But this has been a consistent problem for MVP Space, and some of our Widow players we've criticized throughout this tournament, Ons and Climax, for example, they're not making the mistakes that One Fact are. Sure, they're switching late, but One Fact is just trying to Widow on places where you simply cannot even go through a doorway. You can't hope to hit headshots when you can't even see heads, when you can't even go into a zone where you have distance or space to work with. When you have a Junkrat watching one and Arrow, who's the better Widowmaker player, watching the second, how are you ever going to get in there without dive? They should have switched Tidal to the Genji much sooner. If they can open something up with a Genji, then OneFact suddenly could do a lot with the Widow. But if they just try to open up these points against Widow with the superior positioning with a Junkrat, same problem they had defensively, which is why WGS was able to push so far, you run into big problems. This is not the first time we've seen OneFact stay on the Widow and fail to find lines of sight, fail to find damage, fail to have his team, you know, warp around him to allow him to make these things, to make these headshots happen. So, on Anubis, obviously there's a different story. This was very correct usage of the Widowmaker on Anubis, but on the Junkertown, it was very different.
Yeah, and it just seems like, you know, almost, I would say, in any situation, it seems like the Yaki OneFact lineup is going to be the superior one. Yaki was, you know, great little blade there at the end, and this is where they stomped them out. I mean, it was a good start to the defense. Dala did look good on the Junkrat, but there just wasn't that flexibility. They were not changing, and overall, it feels like Yaki brings a little bit more to the
Look at this, where what's Junkrat going to accomplish against this comp in this setup? You can't do much here. You're just really going to struggle. This ends up being a total fail blade here. Well, we're just watching what Arrow can do when he's got line of sights that OneFact was just never able to have. This was kind of a cool camera shot. I actually really like that shot.
Well, they still realized that they were on screen. But go ahead. WGS already 2 wins. This is the first time they have ever gotten map wins in this tournament. They're 2-18. This is the closest, obviously, that they have ever been to taking a series. It all just comes down to one final best of 3 on Oasis to be able to close this out.
I hope that they play to their strengths on Oasis and play around Yaki on the Reaper, on the McCree, and on the Tracer. If he wants to run, if they want to run the Sombra, they put OneFact on the Sombra, they put Yaki on the Tracer. So understanding his strengths and weaknesses, I think, is key here, because his Widow obviously was a weak point, but that's not going to be even an element on Oasis. It's going to be totally different. He's going to be able to play long-range hit scan, can play the Sombra, and he has improved his Sombra so significantly since the beginning of the season. So those are the strengths they need to play around. Those are the strengths that won them Nepal when we started the map, started the night off on Control. So, you know, I think that MVP Space's coaching staff definitely knows this. They have made the sub back in for Yaki, so they know what their strengths are, but they need to make sure that the team is able to execute around those strategies. Yeah, I mean, Shrine, again, was a bit close. That was 100 to 99 as far as the cap is concerned, but Village was pretty much a stomp. So MVP Space do look superior on Control, but it's if they play to their strengths, if they don't do weird things, and if they are actually flexible and can adjust to the compositions that WGS is bringing through, because that last map, they're showing us that they're really not. And I gotta say, I'm damn impressed by Arrow. The Widowmaker has been fantastic. Even his Tracer has been pretty on point today. I was a bit skeptical seeing Order taken out. I thought maybe this was just kind of like a last hurrah, get you some stage experience type thing, but Arrow really is excelling. That's why I was mentioning that this is his first opportunity to really show something. Against Runaway, they were gate kept and not a lot of opportunities were given. Now he's going to have his biggest test yet, because he won't be able to play Widowmaker on Oasis. He's going to have to play purely Tracer up against Yaki. So this matchup is, I think, a way for him to prove himself in more ways than he's already shown us against Runaway. Against Runaway, we saw a few big moments from him on the Widow, but he was mostly shut down. Then he was shut down even harder on the Tracer. Against MVP Space on Junkertown, when given opportunities to excel, he has. This is a risk that WGS Laurels 9 is taking, but it's the end of the season, the regular season here. There's no way to go to playoffs. They're taking a chance on this one. Let's see how his Tracer stacks up against Yaki's.
All right, well, one final map. Oasis to settle it all, to see who is going to be picking up this final victory here in the last week of Contenders. MVP Space, 5th place, WGS, 6th. Man's got to be pretty happy. Closest that this team has been to getting a win, despite the fact that most of them are Order fans here in the audience.
That's right. Well, I want to support the whole team.
Yep.
Order playing the Control here. MVP Space going to be running Yaki on the Sombra, OneFact on the Tracer. Again, flexing rather than sticking with what has worked for them this season. Arrow on the Tracer. So he will have an easier matchup against OneFact. His historically been the worst tracer of the two.
Well, that's going to be Arrow going down, Undyne yet again with the Zenyatta. Does come up with a kill, but he'll get punished there by Z-Bag as he goes forward. And we're in a bit of an awkward spot, actually up top in one back. No, he can't use the recall. The hack comes down from Sky, shuts them out, and MVP Space are suffering already. That should be the first cap coming in here for WGS.
They're not playing
that one up.
They're not playing to their strengths. WGS is playing to theirs, but MVP Space is not putting one fact on hit scan here. They're not having Yaki on the tracer. They're just flexing here, and sure, you know, this could be a learning experience, but it might not be a winning experience. They're not playing to their strengths, they're flexing. Arrow has already built up half of a pulse bomb here. They have control of the point, they have positional advantage, that's why he's able to harass the back line.
Well, MVP now going in, they're gonna dive into the side room here. There's close-knit quarters here, just trying to fight around, but the Coalescence comes down there from Genie, pulse bomb in, finds Ju-Young. Good start for MVP as they try to get the retake. Bianca as well with the self-destruct available will get knocked out of the mech. That one in, gets back in. Be able to stay alive and in the fight here for the rest of his squad. But now Z-Bag pops the Primal Rage, goes forward, finds Fuse. Genie going to go down on the side of WGS, hacking yet again onto one fact, and they take him out. Continues to happen. Good focus coming in from Sky, who has that EMP ready. WGS still in control. MVP unable to flip this point so far. Now going to be looking like they're able to do so. The jump out from Sky. Retreats off the point. Arrow dashing around. Buys a little bit more time as they continue to sneak up. Now the rest of the team comes in. Genie going to die. They pay for that one there with their lives, so now they're going to get punished as MVP can just go ahead and pick up multiple kills, shove them back towards the spawn, but good amount built up, 62%.
I like what Laurels 9 was doing initially to get up to the 50, but after that they just fed a bunch of ult charge to MVP Space, who already had the ult advantage. Now they have a massive one. If they had given it over at 50, they would have had big ults. They could use the Sound Barrier and the EMP against MVP Space nearly at ultimate, so it would have been really easy to get a quick flip back for WGS to go towards 99, but ended up being a little bit greedy there with the time buying. Let's see who gets the better EMPs here.
Good timing there on the jump back. Yaki makes it back with his life intact with the EMP ready to go. Now just going to be looking for an opportunity to use it. Undyne goes down off the bat as Sky finds that kill. Get the hack off, jumps back yet again. Down barriers in from MVP Space despite being down 2 members. They want to go ahead and maintain control. See the percentage gained by WGS on their first cap. So far, still going to be holding on to this. Arrow from below, comes in, looking for Undyne, but cannot finish him off instead. Goes down low, 30 HP remaining, and has to use that recall. One back. Low at the moment here on your screen as we get the wide shot. Coalescence is going to come through from Undyne. Spamming away, and they manage to get rid of Genie yet again.
Really good Coalescence from Undyne, though.
Has not had to use his EMP. He can just keep holding on to this one so far. Hack looking for it there onto Arrow, jumps out of there. Self-alive. It's spammed back up there by Undyne. We'll be able to stay in the fight. Yeah, not going to go down. Still has the ulti. MVP Space in an excellent spot now after a very rocky start.
Undyne looked fantastic there, saving Yaki. Great Coalescence timing, perfect angle, very much keeping them in control of this point. Very impressive on the Moira. One fact just looking out for, since they have control, any sort of pick here to prevent them from getting back onto the point.
Taking out Ju-Young would be absolutely huge. He's got that sound barrier ready. Z-Bag jumps in. Z-Bag gonna go down. Bianca just goes forward there with the D.Va now. Translocator up into the air, throws down that EMP. He'll get taken down by the self-destruct. Bernard finding one, trading that back here against MVP. They invest the sound barrier from Ju-Young. Self-destruct from Bianca, not going to be finding any picks. And now the Coalescence comes through, and Genie is getting focused down. The Rockets rip him apart. Sound barrier follows up for MVP Space as they look to take the win. Bernard's going to get popped out. Z-Bag comes back through, but it's basically just going to be the members of WGS stringing in one after the other. Nobody can make it back onto the point. 162% MVP win University.
And in spite of Yaki's very lackluster tracer, sorry, not tracer, his tracer is fantastic. His lackluster Sombra, Undyne is able to carry this point. 2 amazing Coalescences, keeping everybody alive, focusing down Genie there with the team, using Bianca's rockets to prevent his Coalescence from coming through. That the reason why Yaki decided to use that translocator into EMP where he was killed by the self-destruct is he basically brain farted. He had the idea of, okay, I see the D.Va, this is how we're going to win the point. We see so many EMPs used to secure this point on University where you hack the D.Va before she can remech, and then you kill her, and then you win the map. But he did it too late and then tried to EMP the pilot diva to prevent the remake, and then ended up dying there to the substruck. A little bit sloppy there, but either way, Undyne has been having a fantastic performance on the Moira, and it's really coming up big for MVP Space.
Well, in on the city center, could decide it all. WGS need to win this, then take it to Garden if they want to close out this series. Genie, however, is going to be the first one that falls. Yaki hounding him down, jumps away with the translocator just in time to dodge out on that traffic. Young, he won't be as fortunate though. He'll get killed. Z-Bag pushed in, but he'll just get taken down.
Dangerous zone we're fighting in here.
I mean, we very rarely see people fighting over the streets here.
Yeah. Ends up being a win for MVP Space. Laurels 9 actually kind of having to fight with their backs against that traffic wall and not having much room to work with there.
Really, it's just, I'm amazed at the road rage from the people here in City Center. Just no breaks whatsoever.
They just drive too fast, man. We need some laws about that.
Yeah.
All right, well.
About traffic regulations in the same, but
Sky
goes Overon trying to stay alive.
Sky unable to build as much as Yaki, obviously, but in terms of EMP charge right now.
Oh, and that's just going to be Genie getting ripped apart. Once back, comes up with that kill. Pulse bomb comes down, gets a bit of damage, a smattering of it there onto Bernard's mech, and should be able to finish him off in the end. No. Actually, yes. I lied. The answer is yes. Yaki is there. Let's go ahead, scoop that one up, and Bernard. Oh, you had so much to live for.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen Bernard killed by cars out there. MVP Space building up to 42% now. Sky, again, still behind an EMP charge. He hasn't been able to reliably farm it as well, so there is going to be a moment here where Laurels 9 just has to patiently wait for that to be finished, otherwise they're simply going to be outclassed as they approach the point. They could try to bait one from Yaki as soon as that's ready here.
Comes back up, Coalescence coming down from Undyne. Everybody topped up and getting a little bit of damage in, but overall, not going to be the greatest value. WGS just say, okay, you know what, we'll just kite back, we'll wait it out a little bit, and then we'll get ready to rejoin. But Yaki trying to shut down the push, throws down the EMP with the sound barriers in from Ju-Young. Good positioning from him, and now Oberon's going to fall. First one here in this fight. Undyne right-clicking away, trying to get some damage here onto Z-Bag, but he's got that armor in. It's going to be a lot more to get through that Winston. WGS look to get the first flip here of City Center. Hack not going to connect onto Bianca. Tries to get it the second time out. We'll just go ahead and pop him out with a left click. Burns him down and Bianca will fall. 88% still moving up. MVP would love to push as close to OT as they possibly can. They're still losing out on members, so the flip is going to be inevitable here.
Well, Sky holds onto this EMP too with this flip, although Yaki's trying to delay. This should be a flip as he's forced to translocate, but holding on to this EMP, ult advantage for WGS. It's about efficiency now. The closest they've ever been to winning a series, and now they need to use these ults staggeredly to use them efficiently to gatekeep MVP Space off the point. They have a massive disadvantage in control meter, so they have to make up for it with their ults. One fact already killed here by Sky without using the EMP. That's a great way to build further up here, slow down the next push from MVP Space. And Ju-Young doesn't have an EMP. They're going to have to play around that fact when Yaki comes in for the EMP engage. The best thing they could do is spread against it. That's their best way to deal with the EMP until Ju-Young gets that the remainder of the 50% he needs for sound barrier. Because otherwise Yaki is just going to rip them apart. You can see they are splitting quite well at the moment against a potential EMP.
Sky hanging onto this one. Oberon's going to go low. He's going to pop the primal range. Just in time to stay alive. Hack comes down there onto Bianca. They would love to knock him out of that mech. Haven't been able to do so yet, but Yaki's going to get taken out, so no EMP available for this retake here for MVP, which means that they likely just have to abandon this push.
Yeah, and this
WGS.
is just a 1v1 trade in terms of ultimates. That's exactly the kind of efficiency that WGS Laurels 9 really needs here. I love how Sky is placing his translocator for flanks. He wants to flank behind MVP Space and run in for the EMP when they come in the point. This time they shut the push down, so it never happens, so he still holds the EMP, but I like how he is setting up for these.
He as well, poking it from the side, but gonna get revealed here. He's spamming exactly where he is. Sky goes low. Coalescence now coming down from Undyne. Now matched by Genie. Undyne finds the first kill. Sky goes down. No EMP available. Now the sound barrier's out here from MVP Space. Looking for the retake, and they nearly have the flip already. 87% here for WGS. Trying to hold out as best as they can. Self-destruct in from Bernard. Tries to make it back into the mech. Won't be able to do so, but the EMP comes down now, and Ju-Young can't use the sound barrier. He's still alive here for the moment. Can he make it back in? Manages to do so. Gets the sound barrier off, but the flip has come through, and now WGS desperate. Needs to get the flip back in. Bianca hacked out, can't get back into the mech. They shut him down, but it's still OT ticking away. Fuse comes up with a kill, takes down the enemy Lucio, and Genie is sprinting back here with the Soldier 76. Yaki goes forward and finds the kill there on this guy. Undyne barely can't get the kill. kill there onto Bernard, just trying to keep them alive and in this fight, waiting for his teammates to join in. Fades over to the side. Cap's getting ready to come through. Yaki up into the air, trying to delay us, but again gets healed back up here from Undyne. Zeus is still dead, waiting for him to rejoin. Genie low, looking for the spray down. Great take out that Soldier 76, the hacking onto Ju-Young. He'll fall, there's no supports available. And the OT is just gonna plummet, and they manage to do it in the end. MVP pull off the victory on Oasis. They take the series. They deny the series win from WGS.
I cannot even describe how fantastic the performance of Undyne was on that both points, both naps there. He played out of his mind. His ability to slow down the push there, using his escape to hide in the corner and come back in, buying time for the rest of the members of MVP Space to come in, surviving longer, keeping everybody alive to win the longer fight there, building so many good coalescences on the first point on University, having the gatekeeping there. Very well played, and despite MVP Space's best efforts to try to run inferior DPS players on their opposite roles, they were able to win this with the help of Undyne. Very well played on this 5th and final tiebreaker map. And MVP Space is going to walk away with the win tonight. WGS Laurels 9 will go 0-5 with 2 map wins. They'll be at -18 to close out regular season. MVP Space having 2 wins to finish it off. Not enough to go to playoffs, but at least enough to bring them back into the good light of their fans, you could argue.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes and no, I guess, because the fans were probably expecting them to just absolutely smash WGS after the victory over 7. Perhaps an off day for them, but MVP, they were looking stubborn in this series, unwilling to swap. Tidala coming in for Junkertown. It made some sense, but ultimately it fell short, and there just wasn't enough flexibility from the squad. But they close it out in the end. They give us our 3rd tiebreaker, I do believe, of the tournament so far. They're on Oasis, and they are able to walk away with at least 2 series wins in this tournament.
Now we have to talk about when MVP Space goes to trials in however many weeks' time. When that gets announced, it's not announced yet, and I don't know when it's going to be. But whenever trials happens, right?
It'll happen.
What leads up to trials is MVP Space needing to improve their adaptability. They have 3 DPSs. They know how to put them into the right slots for the map, but in the map itself, they stick to the plan for too long. They're unable to adapt, flex title onto the Genji faster, switch 1 fact away from the Widow. There's just some stuff that's going on for MVP Space where they're mentally blocked, or the coach is really forcing them down one path and they're just following it rather than showing some flexibility.
Starting off, look at some of these highlights.
Yeah. But MVP Space, the curse continues. If the curse continues further, we'll probably see them in Season 2 after Trials. They were able to get 2nd place in Trials for Season 1. And we'll see if they can repeat it again. It's been a pleasure to cast them again in their 5th season of Korean Overwatch here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate that they couldn't make it to the playoffs, but I think that MVP Space will be able to make it back in through Contenders, depending on the added opposition that'll be coming through from the open qualifier. We'll see what happens as time goes on. That was a great hook. Didn't get the kill, got taken down in the end, but it was fancy looking from Bianca.
I love to see moments like that. That just shows someone's mechanical skill.
Yeah, great reaction from him to still just go for that hook, but unfortunately got taken down.
It's similar to when you
entire city there on Junkertown.
Similar to when you get knocked off the side and you pull somebody with a hook. That kind of reaction.
Dragged into the well.
Yeah.
Drag him down with you.
Oops, that was the Yaki oopsie daisy there with the translocator into the potential EMP. MVP Space ends up winning the series, but showing a lot of holes in their play, and it was the closest WGS ever had to win. So, as you said before, there are for some MVP Space fans a lot of sad fans that this series was not a stomp, was actually closer than expected. But I think for me, what this really proves more than anything, if I could draw one big conclusion from this series, is that Arrow is a fantastic Widowmaker player, and if they had picked him up earlier, maybe it would have been a different season for WGS. Got totally shut down by Runaway, but against a more even team, he really excelled. Yeah,
it was great performance from him there overall on the day. Didn't get to see much else of Order, but Arrow was pretty much worth the sacrifice there. But we'll go ahead and throw over to the MVP interview. My vote would be Undyne.
오늘 처음으로 세트를 주고받는 경기력을 보여주었던 WGS였는데 MVP 스페이스의 저력을
It's Oberon from MVP
오늘
Space.
MVP의 MVP죠. 오베론 선수 모셨습니다. 안녕하세요.
Hello.
안녕하세요.
네, 소개 부탁드릴게요.
MVP 스페이스의 메인 탱커를 맡고 있는 오베론입니다. 안녕하세요.
네, 이렇게 2승으로
Wait, just
이종의
introduce
미를
himself. I'm Oberon from
거두셨는데
MVP
소감
Space.
한마디 부탁드릴게요.
So you've won twice in a row. Anything to say?
그래도 좀 진작에 성적을 낼 수 있었으면 좋았을 텐데 좀 많이 아쉬워요.
I'm not happy, but I'm not actually really satisfied.
네, 그래도 끝은
I
또
wanna
다른
improve next
시작이기
time.
때문에 끝까지 응원하도록 하겠습니다. 이번에 세븐과의 경기 이후에 좀 좋아진 경기력이 눈에 띄었는데 좀 어떤 대회
It's
초반과
pretty obvious that your play has
지금을 비교했을 때 어떤
improved,
점을
actually.
중점적으로 준비를 하셨나요?
And how did you actually improve? Like what have you actually worked on?
같이 합을 맞추는 것도 있었고 저 스스로도 좀
Just working on making sure our teamwork is improved.
해결하려고 그냥 피드백도 개인적으로 많이 했어요.
I actually eliminated a lot of my problems and bad habits because my teammates gave me feedback.
상대팀이 위도우메이커를 앞세우면서 되게 흔들리는 모습도 보여줬었는데요. 이런 위기를
So it seemed like on Junkertown you had problems dealing with the Widowmaker. What were you guys talking about to overcome this?
그 한쪽이 말린다고 쳐도 그냥 나머지가 채워주면 되니까 서로 보완해주면서 더 잘해줄 수 있었던 것 같아요.
네, 또 타이브레이커까지 가는 치열한
So basically, even if someone, so the thing we always talk about in the team is that even if one person messes up, we're all going to have each other's backs, basically.
그래도 마지막이니까 그냥
So what? Any other conversations you guys had during the game?
그렇게 하자고 했더니 그냥 된것 같아요.
Let's just play as usual. Let's do it as we normally practice. Is what he said was going through their minds.
우리 다음 시즌에 볼 수 있는 거죠. 앞으로의 향후 계획 좀.
So now you're going to be in trials.
많이
Will we see you in season 2?
네.
He's like, wait, do I have to answer this?
그래도 좀 아쉬운 성적을 내게 됐지만 다음에 더 좋은 성적을 찾아뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.
I'm not really happy with
그리고
this season, but we're looking to do better next season. So any words for your
제가 처음에
fans?
좀 부족한 모습 많이 보여드렸는데 그래도 유종의 미를 거둘 수 있게 되어서 기쁩니다. 그래도 응원해주셔서 항상
Even
감사합니다.
though we didn't have good results, a lot of people
자, 이어지는
gave
이벤트.
cheers
우리 오베론 선수의
and
친필 사인이
I was
그려진
happy to
오버워치
get good
캐릭터
results
티셔츠를
tonight. So thank you for
선수가
cheering
직접
for
팬
us.
여러분께 전달해 드릴 텐데요. 네, 오베론 선수
that's-
출발해 주세요.
The end of our interview, we're going to have the shirt given away now, of course, to one lucky fan in the audience.
과연 오늘 첫 번째 행운의 주인공은 누가 될까요?
Should give it to a WGS fan and be like, I'm sorry. You guys are so close, but
Oh, you got to give it to the Oberon fan, right?
yeah, I mean that would make sense. But oh, maybe he's just gonna bypass it. Wow.
Wow.
Just say, hey,
What a guy.
your sign's nice and everything, but these dudes are chilling in the back, so I'll go ahead and give it to them.
네, 오베론 선수 다시 한번
So that will do it for our interview with Oberon.
And for our first series.
Yeah.
That is one in the books. It took a little bit longer than we might have anticipated there. It's about 9 p.m. But the next one, Element Mystic going up against Meta Athena. Meta Athena, if they want to stop Element Mystic from being first place in the group, need the biggest upset ever. They need to get a 4-0 over Element Mystic. So basically, they're going to be set in first place.
Yeah, that's what they. The huge upset is the only way that's going to change. Element Mystic massively favored for our second series on the night.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go to a quick break, guys. When we come back, we'll have Element Mystic going up against Meta Athena. So don't go anywhere. We're back in just a bit.